This introduces significant changes to waiver services. This would be recreational therapy and music therapy. Each would be capped at 6 hours per month. Additionally, behavior management services would shift to an a la carte model, so a maximum of 12 hours per month for individuals who opt for continuous care. Tonight is about making sure everyone understands what's happening, how it can affect us all, and most importantly, how we can act together. You'll see advocacy stations around the room. I'm sure many of you have seen when you walked in tonight. This would be with QR codes on screen and on tables. We have pre-written letters for clients, parents, siblings, community members, and RT professionals for support of and for recreational therapy. There are envelopes, stamps, and volunteers here to help you, so please take advantage of that this evening. Please don't leave tonight without taking at least one small step to make your voice heard. And if you'd like a pre-written letter for any other service, like music therapy and behavior management, we highly recommend that you advocate for those services as well. And again, you can find that at the letter writing table in the back of the room. So let's discuss tonight's agenda and what that might look like. So tonight we'll start with a video of testimonials from many families and many clients. We do appreciate the time that you've taken to give us those testimonials. I'm sure they'll be helpful for many that are looking to have a better understanding of what is going on and how these services truly impact each of their lives. From there, we will then walk through how to use the QR codes for quick advocacy. Next, we'll hear from a few special speakers who have graciously agreed to share how these services have impacted their lives. And then after that, we're going to open it up to all of you for a Q&A, public comment, and more testimonials. So we can then listen and learn from one another. And finally, we'll wrap it up with reminders about our advocacy opportunities and how you can stay involved. Hold on. All right. So first, we'd like to take it over and start with our video testimonials. Let's begin with these powerful stories directly from the people who know these services best and use us each and every day to help work on their goals. So we can jump on that.
Hello, my name is Christine Gardner. Our daughter actually has had the family support waiver for 12 years. When we were finally able to get it, after an 8-year wait, we were told that there was a set dollar amount available to use from a provided list of services, which was multiple pages long. We have used all of our funding every year but 2020 due to COVID. We were told that it was all right for the HCBS setting goal that we could choose whichever services that we felt were best for our daughter as long as it was within the budgeted dollars for our budget year. We began with music, respite, and PAC. However, the respite and PAC we have gone through multiple people and agencies. Then, in the fall of 2021, it was suggested that we try rec therapy. This would be an individual with a degree, which also means that it is someone who has more training to work with people who have disabilities. I asked what a rec therapist does. The explanation provided was, recreation therapy is about using leisure activities to promote wellness. It can cross over more than any other setting due to they have a community instead of a facility. They offer one-on-one services and can have literally years to work towards the client's specific goals. The music and rec therapy have been the best fit for our daughter. It took 8 years to finally find the best and right fit for her. We still have the same music therapist that we began with, as she is amazing. She has incorporated into action goals the same goals as were in her IEP when she was in school, like working with coins, reaching across her midline, standing up and down while the music is playing, working with learning how to tell time on a clock, colors, and shapes. The list goes on and on from there. We continue to be amazed at all this time how music is so much more than a beat, a song, and an instrument. Rec therapy works with Ashley walking so that hopefully she will be able to do this again without assistance. Swimming, going to zoos, baseball games, hockey games, movies, working on fine and gross motor skills, interacting with others, thinking and problem solving by utilizing puzzles and games, cooking skills, going to the same things as a quote non-disabled person can go. A perfect example of this is the Night to Shine prom for the disabled. Work therapy is such an important service for a disabled person. It allows them to feel as though they are included in the community. Also, even though our daughter is nonverbal, she definitely has her way of communicating and showing her emotions. She is always so excited for both music and rec therapy. She gets so very excited for her sessions to begin. She is sitting at the kitchen table ready to go when music therapy arrives. With rec therapy, she knows that she will be going out in the community and is waiting by the door to go. All of the pictures that you're currently seeing in this presentation are from her rec therapy and music therapy, showing the things that they do together. One of my favorite sayings is, we believe there's no such thing as special needs. We all have the same needs, but special are the solutions. Each person on a waiver has the same needs as a person not on a waiver. However, each person on the waiver should continue to have the right to choose the special solutions for them that are available on the waiver. We have a set budget dollar, and we should be able to use the services available on the waiver as how we believe is best for our daughter. Thank you very much. Christine Murray Gardner, Churubusco, Indiana. Thank you.
Hopefully that gives a great representation and exactly what we can do when we actually have this type of community effort. I do want to focus on, hopefully, that fueled you into wanting to help more, right? Focusing on this cause, and there's an opportunity for us to help advocate by utilizing some of these QR codes. And what we can focus on here is looking at this screen and around the room. You'll see these QR codes that you can scan with your phone. We hope that each one of you do that, which will open a pre-filled email that you can send to key decision makers. So you can personalize it with your own story, or send it as is, and again, every email counts. If you'd rather handwrite your thoughts, we have paper letters ready to go with envelopes and stamps, and again, our volunteers in yellow are ready to help, and you can find that in the back of the room. So let's take a few moments here to hopefully get some scanning going. If many of you haven't, or if you need help, just raise your hand, and we're happy to help along the way. Yeah, we're going to continue to move on. But if you do want to focus on these, or if you missed the QR code, just raise your hand. And again, I know Tyler's around here somewhere, but he's willing to help in any way possible to make sure this happens. So just give him a passive raise and we'll get it done. But to keep things moving, we do have a message from a special guest who a lot of our rec therapy community knows. His name is Brent Wolf. He's the executive director of ATRA. So one of our governing professional bodies for recreational therapy, and that is the American Therapeutic and Recreation Association. So we'll listen to his message, and we'll load that video here in a moment.
Hello, my name is Dr. Brent Wolf, and I serve as the Executive Director for the American Therapeutic Recreation Association. I'd like to take just a moment to speak directly to what's happening right now in Indiana and why it matters. Recreational therapy is a medically necessary service that uses recreation and activity interventions to help people with disabilities and chronic conditions to improve their physical, emotional, cognitive, and social health. It's not just play. It is an evidence-based treatment, and it works, especially for people whose needs aren't fully met by other therapies. Recreational therapy is different from physical therapy, occupational therapy, or speech-language pathology. While those therapies might focus on isolated skill development, rec therapy looks at the whole person. It helps individuals apply skills in real-life settings, helping people build confidence, increase independence, and improve their overall quality of life. We help people live fuller lives, not just complete exercises at a clinic. That's why it's so alarming to hear about the proposal to cap rec therapy services under the Indiana Medicaid waiver to just 6 hours per month per client. This would be a devastating blow, not just to the people who rely on these services, but to the recreational therapists who provide them. The treatment provided by recreational therapists isn't extra. It can be a lifeline, and these services need to be delivered by credentialed professionals, certified therapeutic recreation specialists who are trained, qualified, and accountable for the outcomes that they help their clients achieve. To every decision maker who's listening, please understand, this isn't about cutting costs. It's about cutting care. People's health and their lives are at stake. Let's do what's right and protect access to quality recreational therapy in Indiana. ATRA stands in support of those who rely on recreational therapy, and we stand shoulder to shoulder with the recreational therapists in Indiana who are fighting to provide the care that their clients need and deserve. Thank you very much for your time.
Moving on, we have some great speakers tonight for everyone, and we'd like to kick it off with Kendra Hummer, who's been recently on the news, and she did a fantastic job. So we have to give her some kudos there. I think that's amazing. She's an active recreation therapy recipient, so we'll hear it from her firsthand. So let's welcome Kendra.
But there are no jobs. So there were 4 of my cohorts that I went to school with that moved out here to all work for the same company. So music therapy is so important as well, but I found it was not my journey, and I switched into social work and then became a social worker. So I know both worlds. But Mental Health America, we serve over 150 clients in 11 different counties here in Northeast Indiana. We are court-appointed guardians, but we are paid through grants through the government so that we can provide guardianship for those people who have disabilities or are considered incapacitated but have no family or nobody to advocate for them. So we as guardians rely so much on our rec therapists, our music therapists, our behavioral consultants. Our job when we get guardianship or waiver clients is to create that team, because I am not their family member. I don't know their background history. I am just there coming in to try to make the best decisions for my clients. So I rely so heavily on my rec therapists because they are the eyes and ears. They go in and they see my clients 3, 4, 5 hours a week for some. I have rec therapists that are helping them to prepare meals because their staff might not have time. We have a lot of staff turnover in our provider homes. I'm sure many of us know that. So thanks to our rec therapists, music therapists, behavioral consultants, they're in there letting us know as guardians, hey, we need to file an IR, somebody's not being taken care of, this happened, staff wasn't there. So they are the ones telling us and reporting IRs. As a guardian, I have very little power when it comes to reporting things. We can say things, I can go to people, but the rec therapist can actually file those IRs, and we can get that information so we know we gotta make some changes. As guardians, I have the power of saying, I need to move this provider, or I need to change this therapist or that therapist, but we're there to help make sure that the rec therapists are coming in and taking care of our clients. So having any of these cuts is so detrimental to all of our clients because we rely on them. These are our teams, these are our eyes and ears. We are not the providers. We are the ones getting the information, gathering, and making the best decision we can. But I'm gonna call Trisha from New Leaf and say, what do I do? What are you seeing? I'm gonna call my music therapist with Aspire and say, what are you seeing in the house today? I'm gonna call my VC and say, hey, can you work with your rec therapist because we need more of this out in the community. So anything that we can do as guardians, we're trying, I'm here representing my company. Like I said, there are 4 of us. I know some of you case managers, rec therapists, music therapists, we are here to advocate for you guys because you're our voice for our clients. So thank you for inviting me tonight, and do whatever we can to save the hours.
Thank you so much, Cassie. It's Dara. But yes, next up we have Cassie Strassel. So we would love to hear from her. Is this okay? We're not in order on the same program here, but Anne, we'd love to welcome you up here. So please come on up. Let's hear it from Anne.
So I walked up because that was my name, so I apologize if I messed her up. I'm just a mom, nothing more, I'm just a mom. I'm a single mom with 2 adult children with Down syndrome. And biologically, they're both mine, everyone always asks me that. And they're the light of my life. One is named Mikey, he's 26 years old. One is Jenny, and she is almost 24 years old. And we've been using rec therapy, music therapy, behavior help, support. Gosh, Casey has been my rec therapist, and she was the first one I ever had, and I want to say it's been like 12 years. It's been a long time. She is a member of our family, and for us, my daughter Jenny is the one I want to talk about the most, because in Fort Wayne, there's very few services available once your children graduate high school. There's not very many day programs. Michael was lucky enough to get into a day program. Jenny has not been able to get into day programs because there's no room. And even with the day programs, most of them, there is a huge turnover of staff. So I look at Casey, she's been in Jenny and Michael's life forever. She's our family. And she knows Jenny better than anyone other than me. Sorry, looking at my notes. The other thing is, between rec therapy, music therapy, behaviors, they are reliable and they're always there, and you can always count on them. I signed Jenny up for Voc Rehab a year ago, and since I signed up, I have tried 3 different companies, and I've never met with a person more than once because the changeover is huge. That doesn't happen with educated therapists who are doing this job with passion and love, and it's not a job. It is a love and a drive. For Jenny, she works with someone it's about 12 hours a month. She has 2 rec therapists that she works with. And again, I have those hours, and that's what I choose, because Jenny Unfortunately, without a day program, is home alone a lot. I work full time. As a single mom, I have to. And so I hate that she's alone so much. So the rec therapists take her into the community. They have they've taken her to the pool and to the zoo and to Night to Shine and hockey and Disney on Ice. They've done so many different programs with them throughout the time. But the most important part of that is the goal setting. They set goals, they work really hard with my daughter, and they achieve those goals. That's never going to happen with an untrained, unqualified, uneducated person, which is what they're recommending that we take our hours with. And that is never going to work. It's never going to make a difference in the life of my daughter or my son. One of the things I just want to point out, we were talking at our quarterly meeting, and I said, I'm so frustrated with voc rehab. Jenny really needs to do a job. She'd be very good at it. I know she would. So Casey brought her into nursing homes, and they worked with the activities director. And Jenny went at like 4 or 5 different times, and Casey helped her learn what she needed to do and how to be successful in that setting. If I had 100 Caseys, my daughter would be so lucky. Those therapists are not babysitters. They're who I want my children to be with. They set those goals, they monitor them, and they achieve them. There are very few opportunities for my children, especially after high school. These people help them, they love them, they challenge them, and we cannot lose the only programs that make a difference in our children's lives. Lastly, I just want to say they're not a number. They're living humans who deserve the world, but the world fails often to help them be successful. I do not support the reduction of hours for music and rec therapy, as it will have a major negative impact on my children. These children and adults need highly qualified and educated adults working with them all the time.
Next up, we will welcome Susan and Summer, a recreational therapy recipient, and her parents. So please welcome them as they share their story.
Hey, thank you guys for inviting us to be here tonight and to speak. We were asked to just tell a little bit about Summer's story, and I'm a note person, so I'm going to read most of it, but there will be some probably off the cuff with my partner here, Summer. Yeah! So Summer was targeted for the family service waiver after being on the wait list for 10 years. She was 12 years old and she's 23 now. We determined that the most effective therapies for her would be recreation and music therapy. Summer at the time was receiving behavior management through an ABA service, and later on we added a BC once the ABA was completed. Each waiver service that our family chose was invaluable to Summer's growth and development. Summer went from an individual who was not interested or willing to engage in activities with peers or in the community without great struggles. She demonstrated many maladaptive behaviors that limited her experiences. But with a team approach by credentialed professionals, each therapist communicating with the others to develop a streamlined strategy, Summer started to trust and engage more with her therapist little by little over the past 13 years. Due to those trust-based relationships, she is able to live a more functional life. Her therapist helped her appropriately engage with peers at events such as concerts and plays, integrating with peers in music sessions and recitals, and has discovered how to manage her emotions and communicate and express more effectively, leading to less meltdowns and aggressive behaviors. I do not believe this would have been possible without a consistent team approach that was developed and offered through the waiver services to meet her specific needs and goals. We have the autonomy and freedom of choice to allocate the needed hours of each discipline to implement the strategies leading to a greater success outcome through the services. Recreation and music therapy, as well as behavior management, continue to be the services of choice to support Summer's growth and development.